Are you dealing with sciatic type symptoms? Well, you're in the right spot. In today's video, we're going to give you 3 different movements that you can do to help eliminate those sciatic type symptoms. I'm Dr. Brian, this is Movement is Mandatory, and let's get moving. So when you're dealing with sciatic type symptoms, a lot of times the issue is not so much the sciatic nerve as it's more related to referral pain that's coming from the glute complex. So that's what we're going to focus on. I know a lot of people will do these different types of stretches, try to relieve the sciatic nerve pressure. What I find in my facility with people that come in with these type of symptoms is this type of strategy can work better. It's not for everyone, but it can potentially work better, especially if you're dealing with sciatic symptoms and you've been dealing with it for a while. So we're gonna go through 3 different movements. We're gonna try to open up those hip capsules a little bit, and then we're gonna try activating more of your hips in the correct way to put the stress where it's supposed to be. So what we're gonna start with is a toe touch, just so you can establish a baseline. So all we'll do is just go feet together and then figure out where you're starting from in terms of what you're feeling. As soon as you start feeling symptoms, that is your baseline measurement. After that, what we're going to go into is our first movement, which is what we call a hip glute stretch. So unlike a pigeon stretch, what we're trying to do, and we're going to do left side first, is we're going to put our knee right inside of right inside towards our belly button, in between our hands. Then I'm going to drop my right hip down, and then I'm going out to the side. So what I'm trying to feel is that hip area into that back pocket kind of glute. So it's drop opposite hip and shift as far as you can keep that opposite hip dropped and then come out of it. And we're gonna do this 10 times. We're just going to the side, we're just trying to get through a little bit more range each time. The reason we do it this way versus a pigeon is we're trying not to externally rotate the hip. We're trying not to create any stress to that nerve, but instead we are trying to open up the hip capsule, because a lot of times that hip capsule gets very, very tight from a protective, and it tries to protect those muscles. So let's do 5 more. Dropping hip, going into it. Dropping right hip, shifting into left. Trying to get a little bit more through that range of motion each time we do this. 2 more. Now you may have these symptoms just on one side, but we're going to do both sides just because both hips need to be opened up. So now we'll do the right side. So left leg back, right leg is in the middle now. Drop right left hip, shift into the right. Come back up, drop left hip, shift into the right. 8 more times. Drop, shift, drop, and shift. And just so you can see from the side, I'm dropping hip, and I'm just shifting right into that side. And for some of us, we may not go through very much range of motion because of hip tightness. For others, you may be able to get through a little bit more range, which is great. We're going to do 5 more. Each rep should be able to get a little bit further through that range of motion. And again, we should feel it right through that back pocket area. 3 more reps. Last 2. Just holding it for a second. Coming back out. Kind of just hitting that end range of motion. Good. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to get into activating that same area that we just stretched. So we're going to go into our side, and we're going to do what I call a sideline hip extension. So I'm going to lay right on we're going to do left leg first. So I'm going to lay on my right side. I'm going to lean forward a little bit so my belly button's towards the floor. My foot stays above my knee, and I'm kicking up and back to make that back cheek or back pocket area fire. So my foot always stays above my knee. Just so you can see it from a different angle. I'm here, kick, here, and kick. So my trunk stays nice and rigid, nice and relaxed. All that movement comes from the hip itself. You should not feel it in your hip flexor, it should be all back here. You should not feel it through your quad, it should be all back here. So if you're feeling it in front, just lean forward more, and then you'll really get more of that back pocket fire. We're going to do 15 of these, or as many as you can, up to 15. If you have to pause just to rest for a little bit, that's fine. But we're trying to get all the way up to that knee extended position. We're going to do 4 more reps. The more we can get that stress back to that back pocket area, the more of that stress can come off of some of those areas where you shouldn't be working those muscles where there's abnormal tension. 3 more. Last one. Then we're going to switch to the other side. Same thing. I roll forward a little bit so my belly button's towards my side or towards the floor, and up and kick. Foot stays above knee, so I'm not doing this. I'm keeping that foot up. 15 reps. There's 5, 6, and again, pause if you need to. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, feel good burn. 12, 13, 14, get that knee all the way straight. Last one, 15. Now, the next movement we're going to do is you're going to just roll right onto your back. What I'm going to do is have my right leg flat. Then I'm going to put my left foot outside of my body. My knee is inside my foot. My arms are just relaxed to the side. And from here, I'm going to push down through that left foot as hard as I can, almost trying to roll over towards the right. So I'm just here, and as I push, I'm feeling that back pocket work. Now, you do want to keep your abs tight, so keep your belly button towards your spine. As you do this, and you're keeping that right leg nice and relaxed, so we can just really work this left back pocket. We keep our foot inside of our knees, so we don't want to be like this in doing it. The foot stays inside, so we can really focus on that cheek. We're going to do 5 more reps. So really pushing down through that foot. Abs stay tight, and I'm just rolling my body towards the right. I'm pushing my body towards the right by using that left foot. 2 more reps. This really helps take that stress off those hip flexors, which is one of the main culprits for sciatic type symptoms that aren't coming from the actual sciatic nerve. So now we're going to do the other side. Left leg stays nice and relaxed. Right foot is outside of body. Right knee is inside of foot. I push and I'm up. You can keep your hands on your side, by your side, on your stomach, whatever you prefer, but I'm really pushing down through that right foot as hard as I can to make that right back pocket work. If you don't feel that back pocket or that hamstring, then your knee has to be in more to really help take that stress off that hip flexor. You got 5 more reps. Keep pushing through the inside of that right foot. Last 2. Perfect. So now go ahead and stand back up and let's retest your toe touch and see where you are now. Feet together. Now I can get through a lot more range of motion because I don't have as much of that overactivation of those hip flexors. That's where a lot of sciatic type symptoms come from, is when we use too much of this. So all that stress just gets gunked up in here. And that's what can refer down into the leg, down into the calf even too. So if this helped with some of your sciatic type symptoms, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. We have lots of great content that we're putting out every day. And also set that reminder so you can watch any of our videos that we have coming up. We appreciate you for stopping by and watching our video. And as always, movement mandatory.